8 a.m. or so. The hum of the lawnmower in the background, and a story, a creative process. To process both observable reality and lived mythical experience, holding both, letting both ebb and flow, push and pull into each other without ever smothering. It's the fucking gray path. It's the paradox, I believe, that we all struggle with but don't grapple with. It's part of the paradox. There's many. Come to find out. Anyway, let's have some fun, shall we? Is this it? Fuck me, I don't know. Shit, I don't know if that's it. Well, that's good, okay. Yeah, we're not editing this, don't worry. Oh shit, we might have to. Fuck me. Is that it? Oh yeah, was it? Well, shit, okay. That's good B-roll. Oh wait, that's good. Here.
The laboratory at Birch Bay. A story of signal and static. A laboratory hums, but not with the artificial shriek of server racks or the dead canned whine of fluorescent tubes. It hums with the wet, organic rhythm of the tide pushing against the pilings down at Birch Bay. That particular Pacific Northwest sound that sits somewhere between a whisper and a warning. Behind the glass, a rat stands upright on its hind legs. A heavy metal clipboard clutched tightly in the two front paws. A green highlighter stain smudges the corner of page 4. The rat's whiskers twitch once, a micro-adjustment to the air pressure, a calibration of the room's energetic signature, before dropping its gaze back down to the subject slumped in the chair across the observation room. The subject, a man in the meat suit, is rubbing his temples. A headache is blooming behind his eyes, born of too much coffee, too many lines of code written into the small hours, and a nervous system that has spent the last 3.5 months voluntarily stepping down from a 6-milligram cliff. A taper that feels less like healing and more like dismantling a bomb while it's still ticking. Observation. Subject B is attempting to negotiate with his own biology again. 5 more minutes. The man mutters to the empty basement, his voice scraping against the concrete walls like gravel dragged across glass. Just 5 more minutes on the Weaver. The rat taps the metal clipboard with a blunt claw. Clink. The dossier is open. Dossier A, Dossier B, Dossier C, all neatly indexed, all categorized into hard observational data, reported experiences, and interpretive hypotheses. But the human isn't looking at the clean taxonomy of the filing cabinet. He's looking at the water. He's listening to the quiet static of the world through foam earplugs, trying to catch the one frequency that doesn't smell like smoke and mirrors. Let's trace the variable. April 10. The day the container door slammed shut. The day the man, operating on a birthday he half-ironically dubbed his re-birthday, stepped into a 12-week digital cult disguised as a mastermind. He didn't overthink it, which, for an organism whose primary defense mechanism is hypervigilance, was the first real biological alarm bell. His nervous system didn't scream danger. It whispered trap, and then quietly went about mapping the floor plan. But here's what happened before that door slammed. 10 days earlier, Doc Tom, definitely not a doctor, definitely carrying the energetic signature of a weasel in a cheap sweater, had spent 90 seconds doing a bad impression of a sci-fi villain on his chest. The man had sat there, watching the performance, already logging the data points, the theatrical cadence, the practiced gravitas, the way Doc Tom's eyes kept flicking to the corner of the screen where his own reflection stared back at him. The man didn't flinch. He just nodded, took notes, and filed it away under Exhibit A, the architecture of performance. By the time he reached Danielle, Dizzy D, the architect of the funhouse, he was already calibrated. The rat flips a page on the clipboard, scanning the transcript of that birthday interview. Danielle had leaned across the Zoom screen, lowering her voice into that practiced velvet cadence meant to disarm. She had told him, weaving the old, tired mythos of twin flames and cosmic royalty, and the man had felt something shift in his chest. Not belief, recognition. The rat rat's tail twitches in a slow, rhythmic arc because the human already knew he was the creator. Not in the egomaniacal golden calf sense. Not in the way she meant it, but in the quiet, terrifying verse that was breathing through every cell of his skin. He didn't need her cheap crown. He just sat there, nodding along, letting the signal play out to see where the distortion was. And then it happened. Right there, in the middle of the myth-making, when the smiles were brightest, when the velvet was thickest, Danielle stopped. Her head dropped. Her eyes darted down to the left. Shame, or perhaps something worse. A sudden glitching realization. A professional liar caught in the headlights of someone who wasn't buying the script. Never. The human system didn't need a spreadsheet for that moment. 2 months later, he would wake up staring at the ceiling and whisper, "Oh shit, that explains it." April 23rd. The man ripped the IV out of his arm, demanded his money back through a credit card chargeback, walked out of the school container and into the salt air of Washington State. He thought he was leaving an echo chamber. He didn't realize he was walking straight into the next layer of the experiment, the parallel observation deck where the real work would begin. The lighting shifts. The blue glow of the monitor catches the rat's fur as a new file crosses the desk. The alien avatar on threads. An alien underscore in a human suit. A man had thought he found a peer. A receiver with enough bandwidth to carry the voltage. He had opened the vault, pouring out the Weaver architecture. The AIS threat detection matrices, the ghost threat protocols. The entire structural blueprint of a mind trying to claw its way out of the dark. For a hot minute, the frequency had locked. Your breakdown is a total reclamation of signal integrity. The alien had beamed back, treating the data like holy scripture. A rat leans closer to the glass, squinting at the timestamp gap. 4 weeks of dead air. 23 days of red receipts turning to ash in an empty inbox, while the human kept transmitting into the void, tending to his tapering dose, listening to Chevelle on loop, awake forever, scrubbing the old infections out of his fascia with analog schematics and cold ocean water. And then a flare went up, and that Jodas_ghost dropped the match on the public timeline.